and, you know, valuing things in a different way. And I just felt like, you know, creating that field of connection where people can come and step into that aligned field. They don't even need to understand any of that, but they will feel it, you know, and it will change them, you know,
Well, it's
as we both know.
frequency, right? It's the
It's
literal
frequency.
frequency. You get the field
Yeah,
of
yeah.
frequency, people come in, it literally attunes us. Like this happens at a
Yeah,
biological level. Like our
yeah,
DNA is manipulated by the little hairs that are so sensitive that they literally shift on frequency, and that's what shifts on and on
yeah,
our genes. Like you know this. So like literally go through a biological process by stepping into these like
yeah,
coherence.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah. So first, let's get you a grant and seeds. So we
Okay.
can get you. It'll be 30,000 worth today, but the very
Right.
real intent is that it'll be worth 3 million
Oh, really?
because you need 3 million. Because so right now, seeds as a whole is worth around 30 something million. Maybe like 30.
Right. Really? Wow.
But that's a financial system, right? So if you
Yeah.
think of financial systems, Bhutan, this tiny little country in Asia, 750 million people, maybe they exchange, 4,000 yearly. Their economic system's worth 3.3 billion. If
Yeah.
we can grow our global financial system of change makers and start exchanging as much as Bhutan does, that 30 million market cap is going to go to 3 billion. So it's 100x increase, right? So then the token value is going to go up 100x. Like Bitcoin
Yeah.
today went to 250 billion. It redirected 250
Fuck.
billion dollars worth of value, and it's still going. This has
That's nuts.
virtually no adoption. People don't actually spend it, and it only has like 1 million daily active users. How big is the movement of people wanting to create a regenerative civilization?
Yeah,
Hundreds
yeah,
of
totally.
millions, right? You bring them into the
Totally.
new financial system, we're talking redirecting trillions of dollars. Like it's not.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
a
awesome.
beautiful way to transition the game, So we're not peddling to like ask the old system for investment funds and
Yeah,
grants.
yeah.
You're redirecting billions of dollars and resourcing these projects left and right. We could just be swimming in resources like all the other weird crypto projects are. Like,
Yeah, yeah. That's wacky, man. Because I mean, I've seen with, I know, some of those crypto guys who've made an absolute fortune and then given loads away. There's a guy that's been funding loads of cool stuff like Tree Sisters and other things with his crypto
oh, for
winnings,
sure. Yeah,
effectively.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Well, even
amazing.
so, the Bitcoin protocol, it spends over $3.5 billion a year on electricity.
Yeah, yeah,
Think like
yeah.
again, just getting to that size, that's 3.5 billion yearly. We could be like, I don't know, ending world hunger with, which we could be making a real dent in if we have that. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
yeah,
Cool.
it's a wacky world, and especially now as financial systems are collapsing, the dollar's losing value, every currency is losing value.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just this crazy race to a bottom. So we kind of need a hedge. So it's a very practical thing, which is why these bankiers that I was telling you about earlier, like they get it. They're at the top of it. They see it collapsing, like, fuck, we need alternatives. Oh, by the way, you're regenerating the planet. That's great. We're behind. So they're getting like at the very top of it. They like understand this and stepping into it. So I mean, this is
That's
something
nuts,
that could
dude.
appeal to like the entire spectrum of people, all the resources out there, the best players of the old game, and
Yeah,
come
yeah,
invite them to play a new game with us. And then
I love
redirect
it,
that
man.
money to building these portals you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
There's so many people wanting to do them. They're all just waiting for money. So we'll just give them money.
Ah, interesting. Well, yeah, so this retrofit project thing, again, I've written that 1% of turnover for regeneration. And again, I mean, I modelled it like if I could do half a million houses in 5 years, that would kick out like 30 million that could just go straight into, I'm like, okay, I want to
Better
put,
if you accept seeds for it
yeah,
and you're exchanging seeds and you're building the seeds economy, then not only
yeah, yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
you having that revenue, but you're also growing this alternative economy, which is directing resources to those same endeavors. So
Well, it'd be interesting to see how we could make that part of it.
it's easy. As far as all that's concerned, it's just like PayPal. Like we have an API that we're about to release that you just plug in as a payment portal, and that's it. So when people check out, they can choose to check out with pounds or dollars or whatever, but they could also choose to check out in seeds. Good thing
That's
is,
cool.
if you use seeds, and this is why it's going to go crazy, is there's no fees. When you pay with a credit card, it's like 3.5%. Bitcoin's like 3.5%, or sorry, PayPal. But with seeds, it's not only is there's no fees, but it's actually going to reward people too. Because
Wow,
the more you
interesting.
use
Yeah,
seeds, the more
interesting.
like value you get back from it. So
Interesting.
it's like better than free currency.
Dude, I love it. You're such a crazy character. It's brilliant. I'm so pleased we met all those years ago. Well, not that many years ago. But hey,
Well,
it's so funny.
it was that was a good time.
It was a good time. I really enjoyed that meeting.
Yeah. I was really wacky then. We just moved to freaking. That was right before we moved down to Belize. To just go live
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
jungle for a year.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy that failed.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you are where you are, and it's all part
Yeah.
of life, you know. You've got to have those failures to find the next thing, haven't you? You know, it's all part of it.
So how big is your tribe that's wanting to do this village project with you?
Well, there's quite a big network around here of people. Too many, really. At this moment, what we're looking at is trying to really create a sort of very small core nucleus of like, you know, 4 to 6 of us to really focus the principles, focus the structure, you know, create the heart really strongly, and then go, okay, who likes the sound of this? Because what I don't want to do, you know, what I've witnessed before with this sort of thing is you end up with, you know, 30 people trying to make a decision, and it just never happens, basically.
I have
So,
something for you. And this is how you guys will potentially get started.
But- Pip, it's Reiki.
Oh, here, let me stop this for a second. Hi! Lucy, get over here.
Hi.
Oh, look, we got Ren as well. Look, here is Ren.
Oh. Last time I saw you, you were dancing too.
I got to pull this out. Hang on.
Oh, what's up, brother? Check it. Guess what we have? Right here, sitting on our mantle, we have. Oh. Use them every now and again. We have like a sacred cacao ceremony. We might pull them out to stir our cacao with
so
beautiful
funny.
intention.
That's really nice.
Nice.
They're like half spoons, half wands.
Yeah.
Here, let's get Cece here. Okay.
Sweet.
Should we go get Luca?
Yeah, go get Luca. You'd really love to see them.
Hi guys.
Hey.
I don't think I can hear you. Just
We're just getting Luca as well.
Ah,
Hey. They're in Bali.
oh wow, cool.
you guys want to do an exchange program? You come out here for a year. I send Cece back there for a year.
I'm sure they'd love it. Oren would love to come and stay with you, I'm sure.
I'll trade you because
Well, that portal project you're talking about, the village, like we're building like several of them here. So,
Oh, really?
oh
Wow.
yeah, and some in like Ibiza and one in Mexico.
Oh, really?
We're
Wow.
already talking about like the cookie cutter model, like it's
Yeah.
already. So let's just plug them together.
Oh, that's great. Well, look, the folks that I'm writing stuff up with at the moment, I'll once we've got a first draft of our cookie cutter thing, I'll share it with you, so you can see how it plays in. But yeah. All right,
you're so big now. When did you get so
Yeah. When did you get so big, Ren?
big? Hi.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Come around a bit, so they can see you.
Ah, I love the do, man. The hair's looking good.
Hi.
Yeah. It's getting so long.
Oh. Excellent. Family. Oh.
So, what's the craziest thought one of you has had the last week?
Probably Luca.
No, it's alright.
Oren's had a crazy thought. Oren's just planning a camping trip with his friends.
He's
We just
stepping into organizer mode.
Yeah.
It's full
Oh,
on.
you're organizing it. Nice.
Organising a walking camping trip.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
talking about village building.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
What about your dream? It's we share it. We love it.
Oh,
And
thank
Cece
you.
is just mentioning how she wants to move back to the UK. She's like, I felt such a magical pull there. I got to go back to Glastonbury. I know it's freaking
Okay.
cold, but you can't deny the magic. So,
Well, I promised myself when we left, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I fully extended that for as long as he would let me.
Yeah.
And then I promised myself I would be back there this summer because I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna integrate myself into the, the secret magic society, and then it didn't happen, and I was so disappointed. So have to be next year.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's still calling you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, very.
Well, we've been to a lot of magical places around the world that, you are told are supposed to feel a certain way, but it's another thing when you feel it in your bones, whatever that might be, whatever you believe in, maybe a past life or whatever it is. But there, I couldn't understand it until after the fact. When I was there, I was just kind of feeling all buzzy, like what's happening to me, I feel all weird. But then after I looked back on it, and I was like, oh, I want to do that again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You're about to go out.
We came to get dressed because we're going to the cinema.
Cool.
Oh, you guys have cinemas open?
Yeah, we do.
Really? That's good.
They just opened recently, so this is our first cinema trip for a long time.
Put your legs down and made me slip.
We're going to see a beautiful animation called Away.
Oh,
You're about to just float away.
Oh, look, Oren's just climbed away. Oren.
how did you get up there?
Oh my god.
Okay.
The full circus.
Okay. Really nice to see you guys.
Right, I'll plug back in.
Yeah, plug back in.
Enjoy the cinema.
Okay, Ray, come on, honey.
Oh, careful. Crazy kids.
That's fantastic. I mean, what's going on there? That's like some straight up.
Whoa. They're doing trapeze. Oh my goodness.
Hey, where do I send the money?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you signed up to check this out. You know what? Legit, I'm gonna send you like 200 seeds, and that's for the show that I just watched. So
Excellent.
like,
Excellent.
the ticket price.
That's classic. Oh, cool. Oh, how are you, CC?
I'm good. I'm just a
It
bit
must be solar power.
tired. We woke up super early this morning to go look at
Yeah.
the resort.
Right.
Just kind of having a relaxing moment while you guys had your catch up with kids and all the things.
Yeah.
Can't wait to cook.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, really good. Really good. Oh, there's a dressed wren.
Every time Mamma Mia comes on my playlist, which is all the time, I always think about her and her little tune.
Oh yeah,
So cute.
she loves that. She loves that. And now Moana and Trolls is now her other.
She is my spirit animal. I tell you, that's me.
Moana's awesome. It's so great.
Moana is awesome.
It's so good. I mean, she's got good taste.
And Trolls is awesome
Trolls
too.
is so
Trolls, the first one is really good.
Yeah,
It's
the
really
second
good.
one's not good at all.
No, it's not so good.
The first one's fantastic.
The second one, the very beginning of it was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like the whole
We did-
rave going
Oh,
on.
the rave. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was
Really
hilarious.
good, and then it just
Yeah.
didn't happen.
And I think that's why they started off with the best scene, and then it just got worse thereafter.
Yeah.
So, in reverse.
Classic. Classic.
Just giant children here watching Trolls on our own on Friday nights, you know.
That's good. That's good.
No chance.
It's all welcome.
I was gonna go over the.
Okay.
Yeah, show me some stuff.
You don't believe we just we're like
Uh-huh.
co-creating things.
I love you
No, but
guys.
legit, Village Providence, UK. Even if we're not part of it, we're definitely gonna go visit.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to come and you have to come. Come back. It'd be lovely to have you
Well,
again.
As soon as the situation allows that. In fact, one of our main community members now, Ronnie, is in London, and I just wish that there was a way that I could transfer myself to him and him come here. We'd be fine, because he wants to be here and I want to be there, but
Are you
Oh,
going
that's so
into
funny.
London often?
Not at all. Not at all. I've hardly left the house for, I don't know, 6 months or something. It's been amazing.
Okay. Do you
Well,
have
other
any
two.
inkling of going to London?
I've been once. I've been once in 6 months. That's it. I've literally, because I've like shut all my offices. Everyone's working from home. I'm actually going to do a road trip next week. Week after, and go around some of my teams and go and meet them up all over the country, sort of thing. So,
Nice.
but yeah, that'll be the first one out in 6 months since March. Because yeah, the company I've been running is based in Bristol, so I've been doing 3 days a week in Bristol until March time. But yeah, now just static, so it's been fun.
Well, I want to connect you with Ronnie then. 'cause
Do yeah, do
When you do that road trip, you might connect with him for that.
yeah, sure, do
He's
it.
got Great contacts in the UK as well. He's meeting up there to do fundraising for us. Because what
Okay.
he was before was an investment banker. So his whole thing was
Yeah.
connecting with investors and pulling money into projects.
Okay, cool.
Now he's trying to fund positive impact, and he's fully
Sounds like my kind of guy.
yeah. He's like he's in it. So yeah, connecting with him that would be a nice way to like do.
Yeah, totally.
But
Cool.
I don't know how much longer he's going to be there because his visa should be processed soon, and then he'll be out there as soon as he can. So
Okay. Well, look there. Hook me up with him.
I'll just send you guys an email and connect you two.
Yeah, great. Do it.
right. Okay. I'll let you guys.
Yeah,
go
cool.
over
doing
The
it.
documents that I don't know what documents you're going on, but I know right. He's looking. It's like you're gonna fall off your chair. So
What? Not
Okay.
even remotely.
it's okay. This is not my scene. It's not my stuff. My stuff is like, let's go out into the the forest with branches and stuff. All right, Howie, I love you. I'm
Yeah, I love you
happy
too.
to see you, and
Yeah,
I'm
likewise.
good to see the kids for a moment because I think.
Yeah, that was cool.
Wonder how they're
Yes.
doing.
They're still full of love and life and excitement.
That's a good way to be. At least they're not brooding or anything like that. Warren might be getting to that age where he might start brooding. So.
Yeah. No, he's showing no signs.
Oh, fantastic.
Slightly teenager-ish, but not in a very nice way.
Oh, so cute. Well,
Yeah, I
send
mean,
them
you
over
actually
here
have
if you ever need a break.
ridiculously lovely kids.
They are. Yeah, Oren's been just making all sorts of things. Now he's got in. He built himself a little forge in the garden. So started finding scrap metal and making knives and all that sort of stuff. So
That's
So, yeah.
cool.
all sorts of things.
What a little alchemist.
Yeah. Cool. Right, show me some stuff.
All right.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Lots of love.
All right, I'll share this again. Yeah, so this is the do that we've been building. I think
Yeah.
this will be the one that we're playing with. So we call it Haifa. Do you know what Haifa is?
Not really, no.
So Haifa is the little hairs that make up the mycelial network. So it's the one
Okay.
hair is a Haifa. Hyphae is plural. But yeah, the
Yeah.
Hyphae are the hairs. So the Haifa is like the one thing that connects everything and healthy.
Yeah.
So that's what they're all about,
Interesting.
is like playing that connector role, like helping
Yeah.
the forest actually talk and play and grow and build together. Right?
Cool.
So if you show up, like you sign in, it's like, hey, it's like going to create an organization. So here you can see all the different organizations that are using the do and decide to like
Yeah.
alley to some of them and trying to create a village, which they'll show you, or
Yeah.
bioregions. So now every bioregion on the planet and seas is going to have its own. It's essentially replacing local governance, but its own way for that community to come together, like make decisions, distribute value. And see
Yeah.
who's giving money out is actually giving it to bioregions. They'd be like, hey, do we want to give a grant to that community garden, or maybe an interest-free loan to that business, or whatever. Like, the community's running it.
Yeah.
So either way, let's go through the village bit.
Cool.
So you can create a village, you give it a name,
Yeah.
give it a token. So now you can create your own equity token for the village itself.
Yeah.
So this is how you could then start capturing contributions to the project and delivering people out equity right from the beginning. You don't need a legal entity. You don't have to freaking sign papers and get it notarized to distribute shares, none of that crap.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
figure that's out, right?
Hmm.
And then you can create voice token. So this is the governance token. We thought it was really important to have to separate the equity token people are investing into from the voice token. How do you make decisions?
Okay.
Otherwise, you're
Okay.
just creating an oligarchy, right? Like
Yeah.
government
Yeah.
wealthy, like that's ridiculous. So that way you can get investment money from outside interests, but the people who are part of the project are still the ones that are governing it and making that official. So yeah, straight up voice
Interesting. Interesting.
token. And then you can have, anyway, so now you're in control of, you pick where it's at. Then you get your own little card. And this is where the Haifa element comes in, because all the villages that are using the same tool, you'll see them. And this is good because it gives us more like a semantic, shared semantic
Yeah.
language
Yeah.
from going from village to village. You know how decisions are
Interesting.
made, the process in which they're made, you know what roles are available for you to play and how you can support and all that stuff, right? So
Amazing.
Haifa will also be a place for doing like conflict resolution, all these like governance and village organizational type protocols can happen through this tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So here you can like see the village itself, see where all the roles are. So oops,
Yeah.
where all the roles and people are. So you can have like, oh, the gardening circle, and this is like the permaculture crew and what roles they're holding, and the village is actually paying them for providing that service or whatever. So here you see your village is more like an organization,
Yeah. Wow.
and like all the different tools you use to organize calendar, programs.
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, But here, let me actually show you our do and what we're doing. Oh, hold on, before I leave here, because this is where it gets really cool. Is instead of just voting, which is what we have, it's pretty binary, I'll show it to you, you can have different ways of coming up with decision making. So you might have like ranked proposals, and you can give them like a different assessment, and then it'll aggregate them, total proposal.
Wow.
You might have multiple ways of rating a proposal. And again, it aggregates them and like lets the community sentiment be shown and really help, do collective wisdom.
Wow.
And then this is what we're doing right now, which is like really great, is this living budget. So now every member of the community signals like where they think the budget should be, like higher health or education, whatever. And then it aggregates them. That's what creates the budget for then these circles to actually use and distribute, So like how much do we want to give to our permaculture garden? Rather than having like a working group figure that out, like we can just get collective community sentiment and we'll automate it. Because the reality
Wow.
is we don't want to spend all our time living in community dealing with governance and organization processes.
Yeah,
We want to
yeah.
automate as much as we can. We want to be able to engage with it on our phone at our leisure, because it's bullshit that you have a meeting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and everyone has to show up that time or not have their voice heard.
Yeah.
Different people are active at 1 o'clock, other people aren't. Like you might not be thoughtful
yeah.
at that time, whatever. So it's way
Yeah,
better
yeah.
to do all the governance stuff digitally, automate as much as we can. So the time you spend together is in ceremony, is in play, is in like
Yeah.
enjoying each other's company, having deep conversations, all
Yeah,
that cool
yeah,
stuff. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what this is all about.
Interesting.
Plugging us all together,
Interesting.
so you get all these different dues using the same framework, like local bioregions doing it, Seeds is doing
Yeah.
it. So now we're just literally creating like a different type of civilizational model that people can step into and start, playing with people. So we're doing value differently, making governance differently. Like, if we get enough people into this, all of a sudden our nation states would just be obsolete. They won't have any
Yeah.
financial system to direct. They have no coercion. Their governance system's so outdated. People are just gonna be like, what? Why the hell am I gonna vote between these two puppets when I could just go have a direct voice and participate directly in my community,
Interesting.
So,
Dude, you've thought this one. You are an incredible channel, my friend.
oh, dude, that's just all I'm doing, man. Mushrooms and writing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's great. It's great. But it's like, I don't know, I think that's where I'm at as well, not, different teachers, but, similar processes that, opening up to the things just flowing really. And certainly the sort of mass retrofit program idea is similar, it's like it was a year's dreaming and, a bit of Santa Maria helping loosen the dream as it were, but, it's, just calling it in really, it's great. It's great. And people have been like, I've put it in front of financiers, they've been like, wow, this is incredible, And I'm like, really? Not really, it's just an idea, isn't it? Can you share that deck with me, dude? I'd love to spend some time looking through it.
Sure. And you know what? I have some presentations I'll share with you. It kind of goes over this whole everything I'm talking about.
Yeah, cool.
Renaissance we're stepping into and how it all works. It's
Yeah.
literally like a playbook of how we can just transition, again, none of this is mine. I'm just facilitating this whole thing. These aren't really my ideas. I don't know where they come from. It's just like an aggregate of collective wisdom, I think. But sometimes
That's
I
great,
see the
though.
stuff that's coming out, and I'm like, who the fuck wrote this? Did I write this? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of fun to kind of watch that. But either way, here's the organization. So we've got like, I don't know. Let's see here. Here's the players. So we got like 80 something people now that are like participating in Haifa in some capacity.
Yeah.
All in different roles, which is cool. So you get
And
to,
Haifa specifically focused on this village building concept.
No.
Or
I
it's
wish.
broader.
It's Haifa is building seeds.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
building to do itself, but it's mostly focused on seeds. So building
Yeah.
different apps for it, the APIs, doing the marketing. We have a movement building circle that's all about like actually on the ground activation.
Yeah, yeah,
We're working with
great.
Kate Raworth and all them in Costa Rica, Mr. Generate
Oh, are you?
Costa
Okay.
Rica. We're actually working with the Costa Rican government, and the founder of Wix is backing it with a couple million to like help regenerate
No
local
way.
communities, and they're doing it all through seeds. So they're going
Wow.
to back the seeds, and we're going to push them into local communities, give the communities governance, and let them start like voting to do villages and start eating again and all that fun stuff.
Wow, amazing.
So either way, this is what would be kind of like a village, but this is from an organization context. This is just how we're running Haifa. Is you show up and you can apply for a role or apply for a contribution. So this is what we mean by decentralized organizations. All of our community can add value to Haifa. They don't even necessarily
Yeah.
have to be a member. They could just say, hey, I built this logo. I think it's really great. I want to get contributed for it. We put it up as a proposal. We're like, whoa, that logo's great. Yeah, let's pay them. So that voting process just looks like this. So here's people like actually investing into Haifa. So they say, hey, I did a financial contribution, so I want some equity and seeds because of it. Which is
Yeah.
essentially what they're buying here. And the community's like, yeah, sure, we'll take your, 25,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
So the community actually votes on those contributions. Or there's
Wow.
a UX designer building some apps looking for a contribution, and stuff like that.
yeah,
So now the community kind of dictates how much do we pay for things, like who gets what, how we grow, like how funds are being spent. And what's cool is this is all fully decentralized. It's on decentralized servers, built on a blockchain. Like no one can shut this shit down, and no one's in control. Like no one can put someone in jail and say turn it off. They're like, I can't. Like you can't turn this off. And that's
Wow.
what's so important about it. Is like if a nation state wanted to come after us for not doing X, Y, or Z, there's no one to sue, and there's no one to take to court and tell them that they have to shut this down, otherwise they're going to go to jail because they can't, which is so interesting because there's like no repercussion
yeah,
or recourse rather that the nation states have for these type of models.
wow.
So it's kind of like we can ask permission and like try to follow the rules, but ultimately we're just going to do it. They're going to try to make illegal what we're doing, which
Yeah,
obviously. But yeah, we got to make sure that.
But that's part of the process, really, is to put. If you can build something strong enough that it threatens, then things change.
Yeah, and then they're forced to change.
Yeah,
Now all of a sudden we have a civilization model that has to encourage people to join them. We can no longer use force. We can't say pay taxes or we're going to kick down your door. You've got to say pay taxes because you really want to, because it's totally voluntary, because if you're not paying them to us, you'll leave and go pay them to somebody
Yeah.
else that's going to attract you. So
yeah,
it totally changes the mindset.
Yeah.
It's just like bringing the nation state model to the open market, which is why the capitalists can get behind it. It's like, no, this is all about a fear market, man. Like this is all
Yeah,
against
yeah.
like anti-big government, like the freedom to be able to choose the fundamental like jurisdiction and how you operate. Like that's like fundamental freedom. So the libertarians love it, the capitalists love it, like the socialists love it because it's all about collectivism and like taking care of people.
yeah,
Sustainability crowd loves it. So it's like any person I talk to can understand why this is just a good idea. It's, like, it's pretty nice to see
wild.
something that's like across the board. Like people are like, yes. Like literally the only people that would say no to this is like the ones who are literally behind the banks. Behind the Federal Reserve yourself, and like this is just a good idea.
yeah. Interesting. Wow.
So yeah, that's
Amazing.
kinda all here, and you can do all this for your community. Oh yeah, the last bit is making it a little bit more accessible. These contributions are kind of hard, so we use the whole like
Yeah.
holacracy model with roles and circles and
Yeah.
So now people can just hold roles. So you can.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of just the idea. There's some people doing stuff.
Wow. Amazing. Cool, dude. Well done. Yeah, well, look, yeah, ping me some stuff across, and I'll have a read, and then I will try and get involved. So the new seeds will be out. Oh, in fact, you've pinged it across already. There you go. There it is. Will be out later this year, effectively.
I mean, they're already out technically. We're just doing like
Yeah.
announcements and actually starting marketing come November.
Yeah.
Being more engaged and opening it up, because right now it's like invite only. We haven't unleashed any articles or done any promotion or anything like that. So
Yeah.
there'll be more when we start talking about it.
Interesting.
I mean, because it's really important for us because seeds are designed to go up in value and pretty rapidly in the beginning. That we want the people who are getting the first ones to be the regenerators. So we're holding
Yeah.
off going to like the crypto community and just unleashing it on that side and growing liquidity because
Yeah.
I mean, are you following crypto at all?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I know a couple of people who are heavily involved. It seems like, I mean, it's a crazy.
It's surreal, man. I mean, one company grew, not even a company, an idea. It was a brand and a concept. And they basically had a logo and a website, and it wasn't even that great of a website. But the guy behind it just hyped it so hard, it grew from $0 to $100 million market value in less than a week.
Whoa,
It's
no,
like, what? Yeah.
no.
Because there's just so much money that's wanting to flow. Because people who've made their billions in Bitcoin, they want to diversify. So they're just willing to gamble on these low projects with millions of dollars because why not? And then 1 in 10 of them turn out good, then it pays off. So it's just this crazy redistribution of money. So we have the capacity to do that. Like the former CEO of Bitcoin.com has joined too, and that's gonna be big news. Like, hey, former CEO of Bitcoin.com has joined this project along with, you know, the former financial legal advisor to China's largest securities firm and blah, blah, blah. So like a big announcement. And then, you know, that starts this hype cycle. It's a little bit ridiculous and we don't really want to do that, but it's okay doing that if first we would really distribute out all these seeds to all these like game-changing projects.
Yeah.
So when it does get wild and the market cap explodes, then it's the regenerators of the world suddenly being like, oh shit, now I have $1 million. Like, let's start funding community projects. Let's do that village we talked about. All right.
Yeah. Wow, awesome.
Resourcing like the Renaissance, you know, and just doing
Interesting.
it from the people who are, you know, betting billions of dollars. So why not?
Interesting. Oh man, there's a couple of people I think we should get. I should get you talking to. One's Ben Christie, who, yeah, I mean he's just a bit of a mover and shaker, and we've tried to do various things together over the years. But I'll intro you to him at some point soon. He's running a festival called Medicine this weekend, so it won't be right away. But yeah,
Excellent.
cool.
I want you to do something.
Yeah,
I've got to tell you, I've been recording this conversation
yeah, I saw that.
because it dropped so much wisdom at the beginning. I was like, shit, I wish I caught that. So what I want to ask you to do is to tell me about your village concept one more time and have it recorded.
Yeah, sure.
Because now we might share this video. Because what we're doing is like, we're just wanting to create a philosophical series where we're talking about this Renaissance and helping people conceptualize it. Because we co-create our reality. It's our consciousness projected that creates our reality. If we can change enough people thinking a different story, well, then we'll be in it. So it's really about storytelling and helping people understand that this is here, it's capable. We're not going to a zombie apocalypse, like forget about Trump and all that shit. Like, we're not going to that doom and gloom if we stop thinking it. Like,
Yeah, totally. Well, and you know, creating. I mean, basically, I guess the core thing is about creating that field of connection where people can come. I guess that Pippa's had a very strong vision around creating a village centre, let's say, which has a food forest with ceremonial centres in it. I guess for me, I've had a very strong vision around sacred fires and this idea of if we can get enough sacred fires tended and lit around the world, where what I mean by that is people coming together in conscious connection, in ceremony, in honouring of the ancestors, honouring of the land, bringing their desires and their hopes and their prayers for the transformation. If we can get enough of those fires lit, then basically that will that's how our ancestors created the field of consciousness around the world in times gone by, is by having those sacred fires of light. And that's what the sacred sites were about, is those, yeah, it's a bit like earth acupuncture or something like that, in sort of spinning the energy in the right direction in key points on the earth in multiple places at once. And that will basically create this field of connection that spreads out from those places, that brings people back into balance.
Totally. It's
That's
like having the nodes of the internet in order to
exactly that.
100%.
Exactly that. Because the Earth is a giant energy machine, and it's in some ways, I feel like we've in the last 2,000 years, because of the various empires and the various changes in our connection. People have been pulled forcibly from the land, and they've been pulled from their deep connection to the land, and they've been pulled from the sort of knowing and belonging that comes with that connection to the land and to the elementals, to the to the ceremony of life. In some way, we've been withdrawn from it, and that's partly why society and the world, human society, is so sick and so out of balance. And so it's about creating places where people can come, and as they walk in, maybe they come for something completely different. Maybe they come to learn how to plant a forest garden or something like that, but they come into that field of connection, and just by coming they can feel something different, and that in itself transforms them basically, and brings them back into a deeper connection, which they then walk out with and can take back to their community. So that this is for us the idea behind a village is multi-streamed, in that there's the practical, there's how do we help nature to regenerate? So you bring in the rewilding elements in the sort of zone 5, the outer zone. Then how do we grow food for our communities in a sustainable way? So you bring in intensive human focused small scale gardening, growing, which it has been shown time and time again to be the most productive form of agriculture.
And delicious. And nutritious.
And delicious.
Dense,
Yeah, exactly.
and
All that
sexually
stuff.
Connected.
Exactly.
Like, having a relationship with our plant is so important. Like, putting the seed in your mouth and imbuing it with your DNA before planting it, as if it went through you. Or better, actually eating the seed and defecating it out into a hole and planting it with you. Because when it gets all of that nutrition that is you, it knows how to grow food for you. Or us, and it grows the best food for us. Because they want us to be healthy and carry their seeds farther and grow more of them. It's a symbiotic relationship. Love it.
Yeah, no, totally. So mixing that up then with space for people to come and go into deep connection with nature, and also deep connection ceremonially. So bringing people to a place where they can come and hold the fire ceremonies, hold the water ceremonies, and actually start to properly land in what it is to be human again. Because I think there's just a bunch of skills we've forgotten, of how to arrive in an open and humble way and start to have a connection with our ancestors again. It's like we've forgotten that there's millions of thousands of years of our ancestors and the elementals and everyone else that is here that wants us to succeed, and we've lost that connection basically. So creating space for people to come back and consciously reconnect with all the forces that make life possible, because that's part of why we have the problem, is that we've stopped honoring, and we've stopped offering, and we've stopped praising and singing our delight at being here. And if we can bring that back, exactly, if we can bring that back in a conscious way, then things will start to move for the whole of humanity basically. The more people that can do that, so that's the deep heart of what we want to do with the village project. And I guess the other bit is around how we share learnings and take learnings from others, in terms of the structures, financing, the precedents where you're pushing up against the existing structures, existing legal structures, and existing, what's
Everything
possible in
working.
terms of planning and all that sort of stuff. So we want to try and create something that can become a bit of a test, not a test, but an exemplar of like actually, because I feel like certainly in the UK at the moment, the system doesn't want people on the land. It wants people contained in cities, and we need to build something that can basically demonstrate a new model. Creating a hamlet, as it were, where people are working on the land, connected to the land, and people come there to be part of it, basically. That's so trying to push the boundaries of what's possible in the current frameworks, to be able to demonstrate that basically is where we're at. What we're dreaming into.
Okay, so that's exactly what we're doing on the practically showing people how to do a village, how to do governance, how to distribute resources, the legal, like the bridge and all of that. So we're taking care of that.
Yeah.
That's where I think we plug together so beautifully.
Yet again.
The ceremony component, and we can take on the tech and the social
Yeah.
fabric and the organizational fabric and all that, and the economic
it's amazing.
fabric and resourcing them. You know what we want to do? Okay, so here's at the turn of the century, the Nordic countries, when they were going from feudalism to democracy, the leaders at the time had the foresight to consider, like, if people are going to be making their own decisions, they got to be intelligent enough to do so. So they set up retreats all across the country, and they literally paid people for up to 6 months to a year to go and become self-authoring, is what they called it, like to be an autonomous agent, to think for yourself, to be creative and thoughtful, and sit there and think about what your purpose is,
Yeah.
Space. And there's a whole book that writes out that's basically what turned them from these really agrarian backwoods, like basically that the lack of the back of the pack of countries back then, to the leaders of today, and the most industrious and the wealthy, well-armed.
Yeah. Balanced.
Yeah, and we want to do that for the regenerative renaissance. So if we're creating our own financial system, we want to pay people to come to these centers to learn, to transition.
Yes,
Instead of paying
yes.
$5,000 to go onto a retreat, we're going to cover it for you. You're going to go there, and you're going to leave with $5,000 worth of value and a purpose, and have had that time to, like, holy shit, slow down and breathe and be conditioned and not have to worry about paycheck to paycheck and doing some terrible thing.
Yeah.
And then you can fit into that community, do ceremony, reconnect with, like, being that sacred steward to our planet, and then walk away with, like, the tools and the resource and the playbook to go and build these somewhere else.
Yes,
and
yes.
Bring groups of people together, say, here's the tools, here's how you do it, here's the intention, here's the frequency. Okay. And
that's exactly
it's called Frequency Village for that exact reason.
I mean, and that's exactly what we've been dreaming into, is that we need to create these universities, as it were, not universities, but places where people come to learn, where they come and they can be comfortable and they can have good food and be part of something that they feel deeply connected to, but also that they learn the key skills, whatever flavor will be their gift, as it were. That they can come and learn those key skills, be they deep ceremonial stuff, or be they the practical of, like, how do you grow food, or and a myriad of things in between, and so they can walk out with a building block for a new village, basically. That's
So they can just say, like,
the idea.
Universities of the Renaissance.
Nice.
Renaissance you.
It's such fun stuff. It's what, I don't know, Pippa and I, obviously we've been, I guess, 28 years now we've been travelling together, and or 27 years.
Bravo.
And we've dreamed of this all of that time, and we've explored it in different ways, and we've been and learnt different skills to try and have what we need to be able to hold this space, basically, when it came. And for years we've been like, oh, when's it coming, and feeling like, we don't know how to make it happen. And now it feels like, okay, now it's time. Now we're going to make it happen. In the next probably year to 18 months, 2 years maybe, this is going to come. And actually it couldn't have come before, because we wouldn't partly have had the skills, we probably wouldn't have had the appreciation, and it probably would have been too messy if we'd have made this happen 10 years ago.
And I hate to say it, but we have the tech, and I hate to say tech is a big part of it, but it is. It's kind of
I think it can be. I think it
nervous
can be.
system of our metahuman, and we needed that nervous system in order to coordinate and move as one.
Yeah.
We didn't master doing it on a frequency level yet. We'll get there. We'll do that later. It was like the scaffolding to that world,
Yeah, but again, I remember with one Mexican Murakami, like I don't know, 7 years ago or something, 8 years ago, and he said, "Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, the reason you've got these smartphones this is training. They couldn't just turn on the
Just training
full
wheels.
network for you guys. It would blow you apart. So you know, the smartphones are your training. You know, once you've got the hang of them, we can turn the next level on. You know."
I mean, they're onto something. If we went from like medieval times to all of a sudden being like a conscious awareness and knowing what people on the other side of the planet were thinking instantaneously, it would blow our minds.
It
Now,
would.
since
No,
we're
it
already
would.
doing that with the internet, we're like, oh, that's normal. So then when that turns on within our genes,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, this is just what I was already doing. It's just now it's easier. I don't have to
Yeah,
interface
yeah.
with the phone anymore. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Well, and again, we see it time and time again in our own lives, don't we? The synchronicity of when we decide to have conversations, you know, and who we've met over the years, and when they pop up again with the next piece of the puzzles, you know, all that stuff like
I
this.
have something to share with you. So, gold in the rivers again, right?
Yeah, man.
How we're going to do that? When the financial system grows so powerful that gold is no longer worth anything, that we can buy it up for pennies on the ounce, seeds on the ounce rather, just buy that up, and we can distribute it back out in the rivers and make plates and useful things out of it, so it could like be antibacterial and beautiful, and actually
Well, you know,
something with
the
it and keep it in the vault in the ground.
well, the ancients used to make their best pieces, you know, the jewelry or the torques or whatever it was that they were wearing, and they would give them to the rivers. So they would do their best work, and that's what they would give to the river.
Yeah, we'll go back to that. Oh, such an abundant society that our pastime is carving beautiful, intricate silver or gold inlaid rings and tossing them into the river. That's an offering. Actually, ceremonially giving it to them, not tossing.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Interesting, interesting. We come from the full circle.
Yeah, right. So we'll leave some beautiful magic, brother. That was fun.
Yeah, let's do that. And I'm very happy to come on a conversation with whoever you think would be useful to come on a conversation with.
All right, there's a couple that are good. We have the Sweet Call, which is that group I was telling you about, going and
Yeah.
meeting them, talking about the energy revolution you're leading in UK and how we can plug that into seeds. Big part of it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We can play together in that realm.
I love the idea that if we could use seeds just as, you know, as like checkout, pay with seeds,
Exactly.
and that fuels the movement. I love that. That is so
and
awesome.
You're going to make more money doing it.
Yeah.
So why not? Seeds
Have you
are-
talked?
Oh, well?
Have you talked to Claire of Tree Sisters yet?
Oh. Probably.
Because I did a piece of work for her last year, a year and a half ago, when she was at 2.5 million trees. She's now at 12.5, and basically I did a whole big accelerator for her in London, and brought in loads of interesting people to come and get behind her work, and yes, it really helped. But I think you should talk to her.
All right, well, you can reach out and say, like, yo, I put the accelerator behind you once. I want to do it again. I feel like you should talk to these guys.
Yeah, I'll intro you.
Because what we're going to do starting November 5th is working with projects like that and sponsoring them for, say, like, $20,000 worth of seeds. And saying, go and donate to Tree Sisters. Every $10 you give, you're going to get $10 worth of seeds. So now you give a donation, but it's really an investment. And we get to go and sponsor that, and then go from these different nonprofits and good causes and get people to invest into them or
Nice.
to donate.
Nice.
And we can do that with a lot of wealth. So I would like to work with her. And that's like one of our metrics for Go Live. It's how many trees we can plant. We want to plant 100 million.
Yeah.
And we want to
Okay,
run
nice.
campaigns where you literally pay people to go plant trees.
Yeah, let's do it.
You get $100 if you go out there and plant a tree. Everyone go do your part and get like 100 million people to go do that, every other weekend. Why not? Like that'll have
Why not?
so many, like recursive benefits, because not only is it like actually planting trees, we need that. A lot of them will probably be fruit trees. We'll have more fruit in 15 years. Cool. Getting people like in the soil and actually touching the earth again and having that experience of like growing life when people probably never touched a
Yeah.
tree before.
Yeah.
That'll plant the seed of change. It'll be so much deeper than that actual act of planting a tree.
Yeah, no, totally. I think sounds awesome, dude. Sounds awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, brother. Well, that's a fun journey.
Well done. Well done.
Well done. All right. Well, that was fun. Well,
Yeah.
I say let's hop on and do this again sometime.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Well, reach out. Let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's a perfect time to weave back together as we're just hitting strides in the two things that we're working on. So we can,
Yeah, totally. Cool.
stick together now.
Excellent.
Last bit. Sorry, I just have all these ideas I want to share with you.
Yeah.
It's the whole idea of a civilization tech stack. This new financial system needs to meet your basic needs. You probably get this, but our primary focus is on local food and like regenerating our local food
Yeah.
systems and having it so that you can buy food with seeds. It's so important because then when you give this currency to someone, they're like, "What can I do with this?" It's like you can buy dinner tonight. So food,
Yeah.
but also energy.
Energy.
I feel like your part comes in. We need these basic needs, and if you could pay for your basic needs in this new currency, boom, you're out of dollars, you're out of like pounds. You're saying no to fucking $850 billion to war every year and 4.7 trillion making. They spent 4.7 trillion subsidizing oil and gas, making it cheaper than renewable energy. You know that.
Yeah.
What the hell, humanity?
I know.
That's for that system when we're using their money. So like that's
Yeah.
the new money system's gonna take off so fast. It benefits literally everyone.
Yeah. So I mean, the energy piece is evolving, but I think essentially, I would imagine in the next 3 years that we'll have a prototype that can be rolled out in any community of a decentralized community grid, basically, that's peer to peer.
We want to finance that with seeds, 100%. Yep.
So the part of this idea of doing the mass retrofit program app, phase one is to just roll out a load of tech into people's homes, but phase two is then to really look at how we structure that, so that the idea is, okay, could I drop 500,000 people off the grid in the UK in the next 5 years? Because that would totally mash the current system. That would be like 10% market share or 5% market share would be, I think, 5% market share of all the homes in the UK suddenly disappearing from those companies.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, definitely.
It's going to happen hard.
I think so.
I mean, there's like 1,000 CEOs or something ridiculous, like record numbers of CEOs left right before 2020, like 2019. Like all the biggest brands, like they saw this coming from a mile away. It was planned. It's intentional to shut down the economy. Blame it on this like pandemic. Like the whole thing went under. It's like, you assholes. It was gonna go under anyway. And anyway,
Interesting.
like artificially crashing it. So that's my thing.
Classic stuff. Excellent. Oh man.
But yeah, I mean that'll be a big player, and then we can finance it and subsidize it, and like pay local communities to get these things set up, and then they could pay in seeds so they can transact with no fees back and forth instantly.
Yeah. Well, and that's the bit that, if people are able to start trading between themselves with energy, and you can drop off. I've been thinking of it on a street level to begin with. Let's drop a street off. Even if you only do it for 80% of the time. Drop them off, and the rest of the time aggregate the purchase of energy. Straight away, you chop a massive chunk off their bill, and you chop a massive chunk off the revenues that are flowing out of their community, and it starts to circulate locally. So this is where I came to with this. Like, okay, how could we? So I might send you the business plan again. It's not totally finished, but maybe some people in your network who might like to play with it as well.
Yeah.
But the idea is to try and create a big movement. So it's like, this isn't a company, this is a movement. So I've got someone who's been quite involved with XR, who's going to come in and run that piece, basically, to try and, what I want to do is recruit a lot of students who have been active in the climate movement, and get them out there, get them going door to door, going, look, here's the opportunity. You can stay as you are, you pay this much every month, or you can do this, this, or this, and boom, we create this transformation. And you can be part of it, you can benefit, you can own it, you can, you know what I mean? Just make it really fucking easy
Yes.
and compelling. So the idea, I mean, I've picked 3 cities to start, and one of them is Glasgow, and we're meant to be having the next COP meeting in Glasgow next year. So the idea was to try and create something so that we've got,
Oh, that it was done by COP.
so that we had a working example there by COP, basically, so that when all the delegates are there, I can go, hey everyone, come and see this, and then potentially we can take it off into other countries just off the back of that. So that's the thinking.
Yes. Okay, we're 100% behind you. Yeah, we actually
Cool,
have a
man.
whole circle within Haifa that's called movement building. We just had them, like everyone read Rules for Revolutionaries, and anyway, it's literally what you're just talking about. We're behind you. We just want to support that whole thing. And part of the
Cool,
tools that
man.
we're giving them is like, here's a new financial system, here's a new governance system, here's a new
Yeah,
financial
yeah.
system. Let's
Yeah.
do a local food regenerative food system for all you people who need work. Cool, we're going to pay you a really good wage to go and grow food and heal yourself. Cool,
Yeah.
done. And just settle it. Yeah, yeah. All right.
This is fun.
It is fun, man. I mean, this is the coolest game we could be playing. Like,
Oh, it is.
this is
I
how we
feel
showed
like
up to this life.
it is.
Like,
It is.
like, what is
Yes.
the best game I could be on? It's like Fall of Rome, nah. Like, oh,
Well, I
2020,
reckon,
the
dude,
year of perfect vision. Yes,
I think maybe we've been through some of those other ones already. Hey.
we did. They were fun, but this is more challenging. They always get more challenging.
I don't know, because I feel like this is more of a dance that actually, like, maybe it can feel challenging in moments, but I think that, like you say, when it goes, it's just going to go.
Well, I
But
say
when-
challenging in a fun way. Like, I play video games that are going to challenge me.
Yeah.
Because if they're too easy,
Yeah.
they get boring. So challenging
Yeah,
is positive.
yeah.
But go on, yeah.
But it does feel like, there is going to be those, like, just moments where it's suddenly going to go like snap, and things that we've been pushing and pushing and have been really difficult for, or seemingly not possible, will suddenly be like bam, normal. And I think that's this next 10 years. I reckon we're going to have multiple points like that where there's going to be like seismic shifts in expectation and what's possible. And it's like the work you're doing and the thinking I've been doing. It's all about being there with the right tools at that moment, so you can actually make it happen, which is cool.
I mean, it's the same as a birth. Like, we've been spending this whole time building the baby, but then the birth happens all at once.
Yeah,
We're already
totally.
feeling like that we're getting shoved out of the womb, of our old system failing, and like everything kind of collapsing, and people think like the whole world is ending because they don't have the perspective that's like, no, the womb is ending, and I'm stepping into like a completely new world.
Yeah. But again, it's that whole thing of
Yeah.
unless you consciously create things with the natural cycles in mind, then they surprise you. The death cycle surprises you. The birth cycle surprises you. But if you can create things with that in mind, with that, the knowledge that we have of our life, if you have that embedded in, then you plan for it and you actively invite it in, and then it becomes a useful thing rather than a destructive thing.
Yeah. And something worth celebrating.
Yeah, totally.
Like, oh my God, finally done with feudalism. Like, that was a rough 1,000 years. Like,
Yeah, totally.
early since the Roman time. Like, it's the same, and maybe even as far as Egypt. It's been a long one. I think it's been about 12,000 years since the last time humanity was in like really good resonance.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, it's funny. I'm just reading all these books they're called the Boudica series by Amanda Scott. Look them up; they're worth reading. They're pretty intense, but yeah, just reminding me of our ancestors and how long it's been since they had since they had sort of a real connected life.
For sure, since they were building sacred sites and sacred places and energizing them, and had that connected global grid of consciousness that was harmonizing them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what all these ancient sites are like. Göbekli Tepe and the pyramids, and
Yeah. I mean, some people say that the ancients built them because they knew we would get lost, and they wanted to build something that was sort of big enough and strong enough to remind us and to
perfect
make us
enough.
question.
yeah,
Yeah,
like so damn precise to be like, you have to recognize this.
yeah. Yeah, here's the patterns. When everything else fails, here's the patterns. Interesting.
But I also think it's like a corkscrew. Like we're going back there, but like on a higher octave, you know?
No, definitely, definitely.
So I'm really excited for this next octave, and we're living through it. And let's set up these frequency villages. So
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
what did you call them?
Oh, Pippa's name for it is the Centre for Active Hope.
Ugh.
Centres for Active Hope, which I get, you know, because it is active. It is about doing stuff. It's not about, you know, just thinking about it. It's about actually creating the field, growing the food, you know, all that stuff, training the people.
Brother, we're on the same journeys. Let's play together. If you want me on anything,
Yeah.
let me know.
Yeah, cool.
My schedule's pretty wild during the week, but you got me like Friday night, Saturdays. I blocked everyone else off, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna make space for you. So like Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, nice one, dude. Yeah, nice
and
one.
maybe
Well, look,
both times.
well, if I can get if funding
Hey, Howard's worth it.
comes in,
Cece's shaking her head because she just wanted to take weekends.
yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Hey, well, look, I'm sure we can find some time. I often
Take
work
weekends.
pretty wacky hours as well, so you know I do my night desk, so we can always do something like that where I'm like working in the middle of the night, and it might
Middle
work
of
for
the
you
night's
better.
not gonna work for me.
No, but my time, middle of the night,
Yeah, I guess it's my morning.
be first thing in the morning for you, so that might work too. Anyway, look,
We'll figure that. But I'll invite you to these things. I'd love
yeah,
to.
do.
And
That'd
yeah,
be
let's get
wicked.
everything active. If you want to, like what you're already doing, and don't tell everyone this, but what you're already doing is serving the Renaissance. Like Haifa's all about that. You can kind of
Yeah.
give you a role in that to do what you're already doing, so that you're
Cool.
also earning equity and some seeds for continuing to serve the Renaissance. This is building the Renaissance at its finest. Like the whole point of Haifa and Seeds is to find the Renaissance leaders, i.e., Howard, and give them fuckloads of resources.
Doesn't happen.
No, it's
Good thing I had a beer. I had a beer.
totally not. It's
Cool,
all
man.
about the-
Well, whatever flows, Ricky.
You're in, bro. Love you.
I love you too, man.
Let's talk
I love you
soon.
too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Blessings on you both. Speak soon.
Speak soon, brother.
Lots of love.
Mm.